Hey there, Bruce, and welcome back to the Game of Fortune. We are still in the middle of our Pick Your Poison game, and we get to choose whether we live or Devon lives. So I think for this time, I guess we'll let Devon live, and I guess we'll... Actually, I don't even know if this does split off again, right? I'm pretty sure it does split off again, so we'll probably have one where we carry on as Devon and one where we carry on as ourselves. Die and ensure her survival. I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to kill her. This is all my fault. All Devon's pain and suffering was because I brought her here. Because I was foolish enough to believe in some kind of stupid online scam. Devon deserved the chance at life. I had to give that to her. Even if she wasn't offering to accept it. My hand shakily moved to press the right button, and I accepted my fate. And as soon as I pressed the button, I was washed with an odd sense of relief and peace. As if somehow my death would mean things would be okay. Round 7 is over. Punishments have been selected. The solo shall have their heart shot with a gun. The trio member will suffer the pain of current and future worlds. What the hell? What the actual hell? Clyde, what the fuck are you doing? Why'd you pick that option? Because you deserve to live, obviously. Why else would I pick that option? You idiot, I don't want this. I didn't ask for this. I don't want to have to suffer through this damn game if you're not there with me. I can't, I won't. My mind frenzied. Half of me was trying to find a way to remedy the situation, and the other half was content, even relieved, knowing that I'd at least be able to live. The knife. I looked down at my side. If I pulled it out, I'd start bleeding, and if I had to, I could... Devon, don't do anything drastic. That's not really your style, you know. You're laid back, you're uplifting, you know how to bring people up from the lowest steps. I know, because hell, you're the only reason I didn't give up on my future. Now I'm going to repay the favor. Clyde, I didn't want this, damn it. I don't want you to repay any favors. I want you alive. I could barely make out anything on screen anymore. My tears had all but muddled my vision as Clyde sunk into his chair, accepting his fate as the sound of a gun clicking echoed in the room. Clyde, I swear, if you don't survive this somehow, I'm going to kick your ass out of heaven, right down to the furthest pits of hell. You hear me? You better not die. Roll out of that chair or deflect a bullet with something. I wish I could do that, but I'm not Superman. I'm just a dishwasher. But at least I was able to save someone, right? The gunfire was sharp and sudden, but there was no silence afterwards. I kept screaming for Clyde to get up, to move, to plug the hole in his chest, to somehow patch everything up and walk as if this was the world's most traumatizing and horrible prank. That's all I wanted. I just wanted him back. I don't know how long I cried and screamed for. My throat was raw and my eyes were red and irritated. My mind was an empty blur of despair and sorrow. How? How was I supposed to continue on without him? Congratulations, Devon. You and your team have won Pick Your Poison. Belle cheered from behind me, pulling on a party popper and sending a shower of blue confetti down on top of me. Oh, my heart was racing. I was so unsure as to what would happen. Alright, almost forgot you're probably in unimaginable pain and suffering right now. Let me take care of that. Can you fix emotional pain? Belle snapped her fingers and a blue mist enveloped me. My wounds began to mend and heal themselves along with my clothes that stitched themselves back together. Even the blade that I'd gotten stabbed with crumpled to dust and didn't appear to leave any lasting damage. I was released from the chair, finally able to stand and look at the carnage all around me. Not that I cared. I should be grateful that I'm alive. After all, Clyde gave up his life for me. But all I felt was anger and emptiness. Come on, Devon, you should be happy you're alive. You get to move on. Belle put her hands on my shoulder and cheerily smiled right in my face. Clyde didn't give up his life just for you to be a sad sack. Shut up. Don't get mad at me because I'm telling you the truth. I don't care. I don't want to hear anything from you. He's dead because of your stupid game. Oh, is that what you think? He'd be alive if you could have convinced him that he should treasure his life over yours. Do you think so little of your own existence that you're not even a little grateful? What a terrible friend you are. Shut up. I swung a fist at her and she simply sidestepped out of the way. Nice try, but that's the kind of vigor you're going to need if you want to survive. Anger, sorrow, regret, whatever it takes to survive. You should cling on to it. I hate you. Her mirthful laughter enraged me as she paced around me with contempt laced on her face. You won't be the first, and you certainly won't be the last. But before we get caught up in an emotional whirlwind, I need to bring back your partners. After all, you certainly couldn't have won this without them. Belle snapped her fingers and a blue haze began to fill the room. Zeph and Kishi's body began to repair and mend themselves as skin and flesh pulled itself together. Every injury they'd received had healed itself, and if their eyes weren't closed shut, You'd imagine they were still very much alive, and when they opened their eyes wide with terror and fear, there was no mistaking the fact that they were, in fact, alive. They both gasped and lurched forward as though they'd just been pulled from the depths of the ocean and coughed repeatedly until they steadied their breaths. What the hell? Ta-da! Look at that happy, healthy team. I feel like shit, my god, why does it hurt so damn much? Don't complain, would you rather be a lifeless husk buried in the ground? I wasn't being ungrateful. You can revive the dead? Sure can, it's one of my amazing specialties, really. They won't even have as much as a scratch on them. Then you can bring back Clyde too, right? Oh sure, I could absolutely do that. Then do it, bring him back to life. We played your stupid game, now bring him back. Why would I do something like that? He lost. He's a loser. Losers stay dead, that's how things work around here. No, that's bullshit. I grabbed a hold of Belle and shook her. I don't give a damn about your rules. We played your stupid sadistic murder go-round. Now bring him back to life like you did the others. Oh, now you're a few inches away from my face. Let me think about it. Still no. My grip tightened. Devon, let go of her. You're not going to convince her to change her mind. She's right, Belle's as stubborn as an ass. Shut up, you're part of the reason that he's dead. Part of the reason? Maybe. But you know full well who the blame goes to in that sense. I said shut up. I pulled my arm back to punch her once again, but felt it being restrained. I turned back to see Kishi holding onto my arm. Calm down, it's not going to change anything. Let go of me, damn it. I don't care if it doesn't change anything. I want to break her damn jaw. Oh, you need quite some strength to do that. I'd love to stay and keep at this conversation, but I got another game to run. Ta-ta. She disappeared in a cloud of blue smoke before I could get in another word or another swing. Kishi let go of my arm and I fell onto my knees, the adrenaline of my anger fading from my body once Belle was gone. The anger simmered into sorrow, and my furious, unsteady breaths became haggard and muted with tears. It wasn't fair. Why did they get to survive while Clyde was still dead? Because we were on a team together? I didn't care for these people. What did they do for me? They made Clyde suffer. They made me suffer. Tears began to roll down my cheeks. I was alone, hopeless. There was no way that I was going to survive through this. I was as good as dead. I felt hands on my shoulders and I saw Kishi crouching down to my level, attempting to make eye contact with me. Devon, come on, stand up. I know that what you went through hurts and it sucks, but... I slapped her hands off me. Get your hands off me. I don't care if we're on the same team. We're not friends. We're not allies. Just leave me alone. I pushed her into the wall out of anger. Hey, she's just trying to help you. Don't be so damn dramatic. Zeph grabbed my arms and tried to restrain me. Let go. Let go of me, damn it. Zeph, what the fuck are you doing? She's the one wilding out. Because you're fucking holding her. Just let go. Fine. Zeph let go, and the minute he did, I turned around and punched him right in the face. Motherfucker, goddammit, you hit me right in the fucking nose. Go, just leave, Zeph. Fucking fine, whatever. You two talk about whatever you want, I'll just wait up ahead. God damn, is my nose bleeding? I can't get blood on these clothes. Zeph left the room. Apparently Belle had given us an exit now that the game was done. I should have probably left too, but Kishi was still trying to get my attention. Devon, please, I don't want to hurt you. I just want to talk. Talk? I don't want to talk to you. You got my best friend killed. What could you possibly say to me that would make all this better? You can't just apologize and think that everything's going to be okay. I curled up, pulling my knees close to my chest and tucked my head down. He's not coming back. You might not care because you won't have to live with it. But I will. I'm never going to see him again. He's just gone. Would you even know how that feels? Yeah, I would. What? I know what it's like to have... What it's like to think that you've lost someone you care about forever? That you'll never be able to see them again? That you had so many things that you didn't get to say and so many things you didn't get to do? Not that I'm saying what I feel and what you feel are the same, but I get it. It's scary and even worse here because the person you could rely on is gone now. If you know what it feels like, then why the hell did you try so hard to make that game a living hell for me and Clyde? Was I supposed to just give up my life or Zeph's life for Clyde's? What about your life? My life doesn't matter. Kishi stared at me for a few seconds. My words lingered in the air for a few seconds. Oh boy, I don't have the time to unpack all that. But you matter. Your life matters. You're just saying that because we're on the same team. If Clyde was on your team, you'd be saying the same thing, I bet. You don't care. You're just trying to save face. Trying to make yourself feel better about what you did. You don't want to help me. You just want to feel less guilt about what happened. That's not... Kishi reached out toward me but pulled her hand back at the last second. She took a deep breath and rubbed her temples. Devon, I don't need to feel better about what I'm doing here. I know it's terrible that I'm responsible for a number of deaths. I've come to peace with that already. But that doesn't mean that I can't have compassion and care about others either. You don't want to die here, right? No, of course I don't, but what choice do I have? What do you mean by that? You've got choice. You've got agency. You can do whatever you can to survive while you're here. I'm not going to be able to. I don't have the strength to win any more of these games. I'm only alive now because of Clyde's mercy. His stupid idea of mercy. Don't put yourself down like that. I don't know what happened between you and Clyde, or what you said, but you're alive now, and you can stay alive if you find the strength to keep going. But I can't give that to you. No one can. You have to find it yourself. You have to motivate yourself to keep going. Anything. It could be something simple or complex, but you can't just give up here, alright? Fine. I don't know if she believed me. Hell, I wasn't sure if I'd even convinced myself. I just spoke so that she'd stop talking, so she'd leave me alone. Alright then. Shall we get going? There's nothing left for us here, and you might as well get some rest ahead. Okay, fine. I stood up and gave one last look to Clyde before hanging my head low and heading toward the door that led out of this damn room. All it led to was a long hall, and with Kishi right behind me, I wasn't able to circle back. The only thing I could do was go forward. Kishi was silent for the long walk, probably for the best. I didn't have anything I wanted to say to her, and aside from her little pep talk, I wasn't keen on hearing anything else from her at the moment. Eventually we made our way over to the end of the hallway, and were met with another door. I slowly opened the door up and... We returned back to the lounge? Huh? I looked around and everything looked to be the same as earlier. Did we just come from here? Kishi walked past me and looked around. Looks like it. Guess this is where all the survivors of the games are going to end up. Kishi shrugged and then walked over towards Zeph, who was stuffing his nose with paper towels at the kitchenette. What are you doing? My nose was bleeding, so I'm keeping it from being an issue. I can't be bleeding all over the place now, can I? He rubbed his nose and then turned his attention toward me. So how'd it go? You two have some kind of heart-to-heart or something? You chill now? Zeph. Kishi smacked him in the chest. Ow, jeez, I'm just trying to lighten the mood. We'll do a better job. Be nice, alright? She's been through a lot, and we're only at the first round. Yeah. You want something to drink or something to eat, maybe? No, I'm fine. Alright, your choice. You said that this was just the first round. That's right, we have to play 3 more games. Assuming you survive all of them, that is. But we got through the first game, so we're a quarter of the way there. Right. I walked over to one of the couches and sat down, idly staring at the opposite wall. A quarter of the way there, and I lost my best friend. I suppose things can't get worse. Well, that's not true. I could die, but at least if that were the case, that'd be the end of it. No suffering, no pain, just death. Why the hell do I sound suicidal? I don't want to die, I want to live. But it feels so impossible. Impossible expectations. That's nothing new, I suppose. So is Devon going to win this one? I feel like we're on the Devon to win path. That's interesting. You need to be better. You can't just coast through life anymore. You've got to apply yourself. What would Drayden think if he saw you like this? You're our hope now. So you have to start putting in the effort. What's so hard about that to understand? Are you even listening to us? You aren't going to amount to anything if you don't put in the effort, Devon. Don't you care? Of course I care. I'm trying my best. Your best isn't good enough. You have to try harder, or you're not going to achieve anything. So put in some effort already. But I am. I'm trying as hard as I can. I'm doing everything I can to be better. If this is as good as you can do, then you're not going to amount to anything. You're worthless. You're worthless. Worthless. I'm just worthless. Devon? Huh? I was pulled out of the mire of my own thoughts as Kishi put a glass of water in front of me. Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. Looked like you were deep in thought there. I just wanted to let you know that I got you a drink real quick. I said I was fine. I know, but just in case you change your mind, it's there. Kishi turned to Zeph and handed him a glass of water as well. One for you too. Thanks, babe. You're too kind. I really am sometimes. So you need to try harder yourself. What's that supposed to mean? I'm a kind person. I'm not talking about me, doofus. Then who are you talking about? You can be so damn oblivious, you know that? Do I really need to spell it out for you? You don't have to make him apologise. No, he should. What he said wasn't necessary. Things are only going to get worse from here on out. The least he can do is apologise for grabbing you like that. No, really, it's fine. I don't want to cause any more tension or issues, okay? Shit, now you're making me feel bad if I don't apologise. Look, I didn't mean to make you scared or anything. I just didn't want you hurting Kishi, that's all. Promise that I won't do anything like that again. Outside of these games, of course. Zeph, what? I've got a right to fight for my life too? That's not the point. The air was awkward, even with Kishi's attempts to make peace. There was still some tension between us. Eventually, we resigned ourselves to silently resting on the couches and waiting for the others to arrive in hopes that they'd bring some levity to the place. Or whatever joy you could bring to this kind of dreary place. And for a few more minutes of waiting, we heard the door open and looked to see who had managed to survive from their own game. Heyo, we made it safe and sound. Yep. Philip and Richard entered the lounge with enthusiasm. Well, at least Philip did. Richard was more or less the same as I remembered him. Let's see, Kishi, Zeph, and Devon. I see that you three survived. Well, it wasn't easy, I can tell you that much. Death isn't really all that pleasant. I won't know the feeling. I passed out from my game. But luckily, Richard here managed to win our team game for us. Yeah. So that means that Grant and Jade are gone then. Just about, yep. Kind of a shame, they seem nice enough. What do you mean by just about? But that's just how things go around here. Nah, I think we're better off without him. Or at least without Grant. Not a fan of the guy? Let's just say I'm not exactly a fan of his work. Or his prior work, anyway. Didn't know you two had a history together. We don't, I just heard a few things here and there from my grandmother. I see. Philip turned his eye toward me and I saw the look in his eyes change to one of pity. He walked over toward me and sat across from me. So I'm guessing that Clyde... Why are you even asking? You should know what happened just from looking at who's here. Well, I didn't want to assume. You know what they say about people who assume. They make an ass out of you and... Is now really the time for that? You're right, sorry, I didn't come here to make jokes or anything like that. Just wanted to see how you were handling this. Kishi already did the whole check up on me thing. I'm fine. I don't need or want your pity. It's gonna get really annoying when everyone comes here and asks me how I'm doing. The least you can do is just let me wallow away from in my feelings until the next game, okay? Fair enough, I won't bother you again with it. But if you ever need to vent or get something off your chest, you can talk to me. Or Kishi, since it sounds like she cares a little bit about your well-being. Yeah, thanks. Anyway, since there are three of us that are dead, that means that there's only one person left eligible to die. Any guesses who that might be? If you ask me, it's probably going to be one of those hat ladies. I don't see those two as the kind that'll do well under pressure. The others ended up discussing who they thought would end up surviving their own game. I tried to drown out their conversation. After all, it was weird to hear them basically betting on who they thought would die next. I was so transfixed on muffling out their words that I didn't see Richard sitting right beside me. Hey. Ah! I nearly fell off the couch, which would have been bad because that would have caused a scene. What the hell are you doing? Sitting? Yes, I see that, but why'd you just plop yourself right next to me without so much as a warning? I waved, I tried to get your attention, but you weren't looking. So I spoke up and then you nearly fell on the ground. I didn't mean to scare you. Well, you failed. Maybe try tapping your foot or something next time. Sure, worth a shot. Is there a reason why you were trying to get my attention or something? There are plenty of other places to sit, you know. Yeah, that's true, but I just wanted to talk to you. Everyone else is occupied and I didn't want to barge in on their conversations. I'm not really in a talking mode. That's because you're blaming yourself for Clyde's death, right? That's... What do you know? I'm just judging based on what I see in your eyes. What are you talking about? Your eyes, you know, that eyes are the windows into the soul. When I look into your eyes, I see regret, guilt, pain. And since you've been a bit touchy on the subject of Clyde, I figured that you might have felt responsible for his own death or something. Congrats, detective, you figured it out. Now, can we not talk about this? I really don't want to break down again in front of even more people. Well, I'll leave you alone after I just ask one more question. How did Clyde feel? How did he feel? Yeah, like, was he happy that you survived, or did he not know? Was he angry? Upset? He gave up his life for mine. He was scared, and we were both crying, and it just... I want to think that he was at least happy knowing that I lived, that he had some sense of peace, but I don't know. I don't know Clyde like you do, but if he was willing to give up his life for you, I think that he wouldn't want you blaming yourself for his death. That's just my 2 cents. Though you probably heard it over and over again at this point. I don't get it. Get what? Why is everyone bothering to help me or try and cheer me up? Only one person can survive this game, right? Wouldn't people be happier knowing that I'd just be some blubbering emotional mess? Well, there's more to this than just surviving and winning, right? No? What's the point of anything here if we're just gonna die? We all die eventually. Does that make our lives pointless? That's not what I mean, and you know it. I mean here, right in this stupid dumb game. All this kindness isn't gonna matter in an hour or so. I respectfully disagree, but give it some thought at least. People here are being kind here because they think it'll last. I mean, do you think I'd come here with my dad if I thought that we'd just end up killing one another? Or that Kishi and Zeph would? What are you saying? Just something you should think about, and maybe it'll make things easier for you here. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. I hope you stop blaming yourself soon. It's not good for your heart or mind. Or your eyes. Richard stood up and walked over toward the kitchenette, leaving me alone once again. But at least this time my mind had other things to think about. What was he implying? Was there some trick or secret about this place? No sane person would bring a person they loved or cared for here if they knew the consequences of these games. And yet for some reason, in the back of my mind I felt a dull sense of truth in what he was saying. Like I'd heard something before, but I couldn't place my mind on it. A glimmer of hope flickered in my chest. I don't know what it meant, or what exactly I was hoping for, but I knew that I couldn't give up. As much as I wanted to just lie down and die, another part was fighting for me to get up and keep going. I wasn't sure which side was winning yet, but right now, I didn't feel like just lounging around anymore. I stood up and looked over at the others. They were having their own conversation. I thought about joining up with them, just to help get my bearing and maybe ask a few questions. But before that could happen, the door to the lounge opened up once again. Laura, Elizabeth, and William marched inside. Woohoo! Who's the speedrun champion? That's right, it's me. Technically, it's us, not just you. Semantics. We all know the reason that we got through that game was so fast was because of me. Well, that was fast. I guess that game didn't take long to finish. Not at all, it didn't even take us 5 minutes to get through the game. I'm just that good. So you say. Philip looked to Laura, who seemed more sullen than the rest of her group, probably because Lilith was dead, or she was taking her sweet time walking to the lounge. So this is it then? Clyde, Lilith, Grant and Jade are all dead, which means that inevitably the last group shouldn't have any deaths. That's Everett, Maria, Teresa and Alphonse, right? Talk about a lucky break. They get to wait for the last door and then don't have to actually play anything. That's the advantage of taking the last door. Well, there's also a risk, but it's not really all that big of a risk early on. Philip clapped his hands together and drew all our attention. So since we know that what our next grouping is going to be, should we get started to organise what doors we'll be going through for the second round? Shouldn't we wait for the other group first? Oh, well, we're not deciding on the groups completely, but it doesn't hurt to get things figured out. Preferences and things like that. I don't mind going in the first group. It'll make things easier for everyone down the line, right? If I just die, then less people have to worry about dying in their own games, right? You want to die? What's the point? I'm not going to be able to survive without Lilith around. Struggling is futile. Oh, come now, you can't let yourself be overwhelmed with despair just like that. Shut up, you don't understand what happened. Why do you even care? It was like looking into a mirror. I didn't even know what Laura had to go through, but I could understand the pain she was in. It was easy to just give up, end it all and not make any hassle for anyone else. The problem was, I didn't know what to tell her to make her feel better. I didn't know any encouraging words or anecdotes to embolden her to press on. I just barely managed to get myself out of the rut after 3 different people tried talking to me. Maybe she can get that help from the others like I did. It's fine by me. Personally, I don't really care where I end up. The champ will end up winning this game anyway. Sure thing, chump. Maybe that attitude will get you somewhere in life, but it won't get you anywhere here. You're just saying that because you haven't seen my amazing skills in action yet. You'll be quivering in your boots if you had to deal with my amazing intellect and stellar strength. Unless you're hiding muscles under that sweatshirt, I'm not really that convinced. But I know people that have actual strength don't go touting it around like they're the king of the world. Sounds to me like you're just trying to prove something. Really? Want to put your money where your mouth is? Why don't you get into a game with me? You'll get a chance to see my amazing skills in action. Sounds like a real hassle. I'll let you go and get killed by someone else. Sounds like you're just chicken. Whatever you say, dude. Before the discussion could continue, we heard the sound of the door to the lounge opening again. Not that there'd be any surprise as for who'd be coming through it. Hello, everyone. Maria cheered as she entered the lounge first. Everett, Teresa, and Alphonse went far behind. Like everyone else, they started off by looking at each of us and seeing who was there and who wasn't. Perfect timing. We're just deciding what groups we were going to put people in for the next round. You didn't wait for us? Well, we weren't finalising anything until you got here. We were just getting some ideas. Not that we've really got anything concrete. What have you got so far? Well, Laura wants to go into the first door, and that's about as far as we got. Really? Alphonse turned to Laura, who was standing a ways off from the group. You want to go through the first door? Why? What does it matter to you? I can't help but notice that your sister is gone, so I'm guessing she died in your game, and now you're thinking that you just want to go off and die. You can't handle the pressure of doing this alone. Sound about right? And so what if it is? Then I suggest you take some time to breathe and think things over before you screw yourself. You've been through a lot here already, and you're not thinking straight. Give yourself some time to cool off before you go and decide to end your life, thinking that that's not worth living anymore. What do you know? Am I just supposed to suffer through this in the hopes that I might be able to survive somehow? I can't. You can. You just need some time to cool off and think things through. I understand the sentiment that you're trying to pass on to her, but she's free to make her own choice. Sometimes you only prolong someone's suffering by letting them think things over for extended periods of time. Well, that's just my advice. If she feels the same way after some time has passed, then she can do whatever she wants. I just figured that it would be worth it for her to think things over. How kind of you. Then perhaps you should be willing to enter the first door on her behalf. It's fine with me. And if you're fine with it, I'd be happy to join you. I'm sure Teresa would too. You're really trying to stick to me like glue. Tell me about it. Well, we all made it out so far. Why bother changing things? Maria, you okay to come along with us? Nah, not really. Huh? I'd rather stick with Laura. It's like you said, she needs someone to talk to right now, doesn't she? I'm great at pep talks. I see. Well, we still need someone to come along with us for the first door in that case. So we're going, I guess. I'll join. If only so we don't stall any longer. All the oldies getting together. I'm not old, you little brat. Yeah, you're forgetting about me. Yeah, whatever. We got a group for the first door. Who's going through the second one? I'm fine with going through it. Keisha, you alright going with me? That depends. Devon, you gonna end up joining Laura and Maria? Well, why are you asking me? Well, you and Laura are the only people who don't have their partners with them. I figured you two would end up joining together, and with Maria joining Laura, you'd make 3. And if you're okay with it, I'd like to join that group as well. But why? Well, the alternatives leave me with Richard, Philip, and William. And no offense, but I don't really want to deal with them if I don't have to. None taken. Your loss. Yeah, I'm used to it. Wait, that would mean I'd have to deal with them. You're tough, I'm sure you can handle them well enough. Zeph rolled his eyes. Even if it's true, it's still going to be annoying. It's fine with me if it's fine with all of you. Yeah, we should totally join a group together. We'll be one big group of happy, healing, and positivity. Well, it's hard to say no when you're all rooting for that solution. So why not? Cool. Then the second group will be Zeph, William, Philip, and Richard. Well, look at that, Zeph. You're going to get a chance to see my amazing skill up close and personal. Oh, wow, I can't wait. Great, glad to see that we figured out our solution so easily. Alright, then if we got all that figured out, we'll go through the first door. Wish us luck and good fortune. See you, Al. Kick some ass. Alphonse gave a thumbs up to Maria before walking along with the others through the first door. It closed behind them and locked itself up tight. And just like that, they were gone. Phew, I lucked out there. I did not want to go and have to play a game against Alphonse or Everett. Too strong. They could probably grind me into bone dust if it was some physical competition. Hey, you're not out of the woods yet. You still got to deal with me, you know. Ah, right. Surely you probably do me a lot of damage if I'm not careful. Don't inflate his ego. Inflate? How could I possibly inflate something that's already so grand and self-assured? Besides, he's Elizabeth's student. For all his bluster, he's probably got some skills going for him. Damn right. Well, that'll just make him all the more interesting when he comes crashing down. With those three having a conversation of their own, I moved over towards Kishi, Laura, and Maria. The three were just talking among themselves, with Maria speaking enthusiastically to Laura, who was at least attempting to hear her out. Hey. Hey, Devon, come join our strategy meeting? Strategy meeting? What kind of strategy are you thinking up? Just a way to cheer you and Laura up. Losing someone close to you ain't something that you can bounce back from easily, but there are ways to at least prep your mind and help move through those feelings. At least in the short term there is. So what's the game plan? The game plan is a simple one. We're going to rile up Laura's spirit. And yours too, if you're up for it. And how exactly do you plan to do that? Exercise. It'd be good to get our blood pumping a little and prepare for whatever's going to happen inside. It doesn't matter if it's a physical or mental challenge. What's important is that you get your endorphins pumping. That'll naturally make you feel good. That's not wrong, I guess. Don't knock it till you try it. It ain't a fix-all, but you'll at least feel a burst of good energy. She's not wrong, but can we at least give it a try? So what exactly do you have in mind? Something simple and short, like jumping jacks, burpees, shoulder taps, and forward lunges. We'll go for about 10 minutes, shifting between each exercise every minute or so. Well, I'm not really in workout clothing. I don't want to get super sweaty in this jacket or these jeans. I don't really have the shoes needed to work out. Also, I'm gonna sweat a lot. Well, Devon, you can take off your jacket. Laura, we don't need any sneakers or such to do these workouts. If you want, just go barefoot. The floor's probably clean. I can't really help out much of the sweating part, but maybe Belle will freshen us up before the game. Probably. But before we can do any of that, let's just get in some basic stretches. So here's how we'll start. Maria began to show us some example stretches for each of us to do. It wasn't easy, especially since I hadn't worked out in quite a while. And she was eager to give each of us a helping hand, to make sure that we were stretching out in the appropriate way. Try lowering your knee a little more. I'm trying... too much. Try and hold that position for 5 seconds. I'm going to split in half before I do. It was painful, but at least it was fleeting. And more importantly, I wasn't alone in the suffering. Remember to breathe. It'll relax your muscles and make things easier with each breath. It's really hard. Straighten your legs out, Laura. Yeah, just like that. It hurts so much more. Don't worry, just a few more seconds and done. Kishi seemed to be the only one out of us that was handling and stretching relatively well. That wasn't to say she wasn't having her own difficulties, though. Getting them ready to work out? Yep, gotta start them off with some stretches. True, wouldn't want to sprain anything. Come on, Kishi, you can go lower than that. I've seen how you rock out at the club. This should be a breeze for you. Or are you just being conservative now that you're not on stage? Zeph sniggered him as Maria pushed him away, but the damage had already been done. Kishi was covering her face from embarrassment and had fallen onto the ground. We all laughed a little bit in the moment while we finished up our stretches. Alright, now that we're all warmed up, let's get started. That was just a warm-up? I feel like my insides are going to burst. Can't we at least take a little bit of a break? Sure, you can get a minute. After that, we'll get into the workout. Can't let our muscles cool down too much. I groaned as I could only imagine the pain my muscles were about to be in. After our very brief break, Maria quickly demonstrated each new exercise and then explained how we rotate through each one, with a few breaks in between. Remember, we don't have to go at my pace or anyone else's pace. It's going to burn, but it shouldn't hurt too much. It was easy for her to say. She made everything look effortless. Not that I was trying to match her tempo through the exercises, but even going at my own pace was tough as hell. I was out of breath quickly, and every passing minute seemed like a struggle. Keep at it, Devon. We're halfway there. We're only halfway? This isn't so bad, actually. I could probably go twice as long. Don't say that. We're not all in the same shape as you. I don't think I could go that long, but my muscles are already on fire. Each second that passed was another second of triumph. Keep breathing and keep moving. As much as I wanted to quit, I endured, going from exercise to exercise, just trying to keep up with Maria and the others. And time. Laura and I both collapsed on the ground, breathing heavily after our brief workout. That was hell. I used to be really good at this. I've really got to work out more. What matters is that you did it. Maria gave each of us a pat on the shoulder and sat down beside us. Now we've got to do some cool-down stretches. Both Laura and I groaned as Maria showed us how to properly stretch out our already sore muscles. After a few more moments of torment, we were finally free from the pain. And that's it. Now how do you all feel? Like death. Sore. Sweaty. All are valid, but what's important is that you toughed it out. Let me grab something for you. Maria got up and walked over toward the kitchenette, while the rest of us continued to recover. That was a nice show you all put on. Yes, you're all giving it your all. I could have done everything they did and more, and also like 10 times faster. I'd like to see you try. Can you stop gawking at us like some touch-starved high schoolers? Well, I was given some genuine praise here. You look like you're really giving it a great effort. Maybe you should have joined us and you could have gotten some praise too. Well, my old bones probably can't keep up with you all, but you could give it a great effort. Yeah, I suppose you got a point. Maria came back with some cups for each of us. Drink up and try to keep moving, even if it's just pacing around a bit. Sure. I stood up and took the cup out of Maria's hand. I thought it was water, but when I let the drink touch my lips, I recoiled at the salty taste. What is this? It's sparkling pickle juice. It's a good recovery drink. I drink it all the time. Plus, I think it tastes delicious. Where'd you even get pickle juice from? And sparkling? What the heck is that? Yeah, that's weird. There was a jar of pickles in the fridge. I just poured some of it into the glass and mixed it with some seltzer water. Helps dilute the taste a bit. Trust me. It's good to make sure you'll get your electrolytes back in your body. I looked down at the drink and sighed before gulping it down quickly. Blech. Alright, now we're all done. Now how do you feel? A little better, right? A little, I guess. My body aches. I've got pickle taste in my mouth and I feel a burning sensation in my legs when I walk. But yeah, I feel a little better. See? It's a net gain. That's what you call a net gain. Pain is temporary. The feeling of success and accomplishment lasts forever. So is the rush from endorphins. Don't worry about the details. Still, I get it. As long as you don't stay down, you can always get back up. But that's the hardest part, ain't it? Exactly. Fighting through the pain and getting back up. That's real strength. She looked over to me and Laura. And I'm sure that these two get that, right? Yeah, of course. Seems you've still got a bit of work cut out for you. As the conversation waned, Philip walked over towards us and pointed toward the doors leading to the game rooms. And with that, we're going to wrap this one up here because we are very much out of time for this episode, but it looks like it's time for the next death game to begin, so that's very exciting. And now we get to play as Devon for the rest of it. Hopefully getting to the point where we end and Devon wins, I presume. But I guess we'll figure that out much later. There may be other choices that will deviate the path even further. I don't know. I could look, but I'm not going to. Anyway, thanks for watching, Brace. I'll see you in the next one.